Hello YouTube, Triumph Guy here today, and we are going to be draining and flushing the system on this Mazda Bongo, and then we're also going to be topping it up and then bleeding it off. It's really important that you follow the steps on how to bleed it off, because it's not too complex, but you've got to do it right. Firstly, you're going to remove the cap. We're not actually going to be draining the coolant, but I'll show you how to do it because this has actually dropped all of its coolant, and that's why we need to Next, you're going to identify where your radiator is, and it's literally just down there, and then we're just going to go underneath the car. It's going to go just there, and I'll show you where the radiator pipe is. Yeah, you just undo that and then take it off. If it is a bit stuck, just get a pick underneath there. Yeah, and just work your way around. Try not to pierce the hose, and then just wiggle it backwards and forwards and take it off. But like I said, this has dropped all of its coolant, so we don't need to do that today. Next, we're going to use this this coolant here. Okay, you can get it pre-mixed, or in this case it's concentrate, and then just read here. So if you're going to go down to minus 36, then it's 50-50. If minus 20, you can go 33-67, and that's what the sort of percentage we're going for today. And then you're going to mix this with deionized water, and you can get that from lots of places. I wouldn't bother with Halfords, but Euro car parts and places like that. So luckily we've got a friend who's a window cleaner, so we'll just top these bottles up with deionized water, so we'll be using that to mix with the coolant. So we're just going to put this in, right, and we're going to put the water in first. This is 13 litres, so we're going to put at least 6 litres of water in first, and then we're just going to check for leaks before we waste any coolant. Can't really see in there, but as you can see, I've only put a few litres of water in, and it's already quite full. So we're going to overfill it, and then we're just going to squeeze the radiator hoses to work it through, and then we're just going to keep adding coolant. So you can pump the pressure tester if you've got one. It just helps getting the coolant around the system, so it'll give you a bit of less bleeding to do. But also it'll help you check for leaks as well, so that's what I tend to do. So basically you're going to be squeezing these pipes, and you should be able to get some air bubbles coming out there. Squeeze them, and then any other coolant pipes like the bottom hose as well, which I showed you earlier, and then any other ones you can get hold of, you're going to pump it up. Then also, like I said, if you use this as well, it will help get the coolant out into the system where it needs to go, and it'll mean that we'll do less bleeding later on. But you should be able to see the bubbles coming up through. And we just top it up a bit more, and we'll go from there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the bleeder hose out the way. Once we've sort of filled it up with 50-50, this is what you're going to need to get out the way. So we're going to undo this and then get this out. Quite simple, just pull that out and then undo this clip. There you go, as you can see that's off now, and then we just pull this cap off. You may have to work around it a little bit with a pick. So I've got my pick in now. I'm just going to work it around and then pull this out. You can also twist this left and right to try and free the seal. Right, so all we're going to do is we're just going to, it's called seesawing. Just going to bring it down. As you can see, it bubbles. Bring it back up. Wait for that to calm down a bit. Bring it back down. And we're just going to keep doing this whilst the engine's off. Once we've got a bit of the air out, we're just going to add a bit more coolant, and then we're going to turn the engine on and do it with the engine on. So as you can see, it goes all the way up, all the way down, and because there's no more bubbles left now, then it's now time we can now safely start the engine to continue this this process. Make sure you got one of your friends to keep an eye on the header tank and top it up as necessary. Now with the engine running, just going to bring it down, let that fill up, and then hopefully it should release more bubbles. And again, we're just going to seesaw it down, but we're going to keep an eye on the coolant expansion tap to make sure that it's at the right level. this pipe, what we're going to do is we're going to crank it back off, okay? And we're going to wait for the engine to get up to its running temperature. So just leave that down there, wait for it to get to the running temperature. It's okay at this point if you want to leave this off, okay? It will be quicker to get to the correct running temperature if that is on, but it won't make too much of a difference. It will just allow any excess air to sort of escape without having it to get up to 15 psi when the coolant cap will then activate to relieve any pressure. So it's good just to leave that off for the time being, and we'll wait for it to get up to temperature. To get to operating temperature. Obviously a lot of these are slightly different, so always check with your owner. The owner of this one says this is where it sits, so that's good. And then we're just going to recheck the bleeding and make sure no air comes out of the system. Now put the cap back on, and we're just going to see if any last bit of pressure forces its way out this way. And that's what you're looking for. A nice low hose in line with the top of the engine, and no air coming out now. But make sure that you do a few attempts of this because you really don't want air in that system. Please do not click off the video just yet, because what I've got to say is very important for this job, okay? Otherwise you will unfortunately mess it up. So one, if you do want to drain the coolant before this, you can take that breather hose out, put it in a bucket and just pour deionized water through, okay? And then until it runs clear, and then you can then top it up with coolant, okay? This actually will probably save a bit of process with the bleeding. Now, the most important thing, which you definitely need to listen to, is ensure that no air whatsoever is coming through, and it's 100% at operating temperature for a good 5-10 minutes afterwards, because if it's not, you will have trapped air in the radiator, and you could get a catastrophic failure in the cooling system. So please, please, please run it up to temperature, turn the cap on the head of the tank, and then keep doing that seesawing. You know, you can leave it up for a bit, but it's really important that you 100% have it at running temperature, and that the fan is running, because that will mean that the car's detected that it needs to cool down, and the thermostat should have opened at that point. It's so important. Anyway, this part of the series is called Fix It Forward, where I help people, decent people, fix their cars for free. If you want to donate to the next fix, then you can do a super thanks, and all that money from that super thanks will go towards parts of the next person, and I can guarantee that next person is a decent person. Anyway, if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you very much.